I'm honestly at a loss for words right now. I am confused. I am slightly disappointed, but mostly confused because today has been a very interesting day as far as Howl-O-Scream is concerned. It's good in the fact that we pretty much got a full lineup announcement of what we can expect for Howl-O-Scream this year, which I'm going to go through later on in the video. But at the same time, there are things that have happened that are kind of confusing. And here's why. So earlier today, Howl-O-Scream made their full lineup announcement by updating their website. We have all the haunted houses that we're going to get this year. We have all the scare zones. We have the shows. We have a full list of our experiences for this year. What's confusing and what's disappointing is that we're getting 6 haunted houses this year instead of 7. Last year we had 7 haunted houses. Now, one thing that I thought was like a mistake almost was when I was going through Twitter and I saw that they, made an announcement that was talking about a 17 plus area of the park. I was like, okay. And then I started going through the comments. I looked at the thread, I started going through the comments, and people were asking the Howl-O-Scream Twitter different questions, asking for specific things. One of the first things that I came across was someone who asked, does front of the line fear include both of the new haunted houses? And Howl-O-Scream replied, frontline fear passes will include all 6 haunted houses. All 6 haunted houses. There were 7 haunted houses last year. So that got me kind of actually really, really confused. So then I read down even further to see if maybe it was a mistake. And someone went to clarify and said, so there's only 6 haunted houses this year. And Howl-O-Scream replied, hi Josh, we are featuring 6 haunted houses and 5 scare zones this year. There will be hashtag nowhere to hide at Howl-O-Scream 2018. And ML is probably the initials of the person who's running the Howl-O-Scream account. So now this right here is the most confusing thing to me. And this is what really blows my mind. Is that someone went down and asked them, will Demented Dimensions be returning this year? Howl-O-Scream said no. Demented Dimensions will not be returning this year. And then they went on to ask even further and to say why. You just added it last year. Same with Undead Arena Live. Undead Arena and Demented Dimensions are not returning this year. We had 7 haunted houses last year. This year we're getting 6. Demented Dimensions is not on the list. And this isn't even the peak of the mind-blowing news that we have today. And this is where the confusion comes in. Is that I was on my way home from work today, and I'm talking to Coda, and she's at home, so she's going on to the Howl-O-Scream page, and she's looking through and seeing all the different things that they announced, and she went to go and copy a link to send her sister. She was going to send a text message to her sister with a link for the new haunted house, Simon Slaughterhouse. She went to send the link from the website. She copied the link and she sent it via text message. And this is what's so confusing and what is blowing my mind. She went to send a text message to her sister with the link to Simon Slaughterhouse. And when you send a link on iPhone, it displays a picture of the link to give like a preview of what the link is. So I'm going to put a screenshot over here of what she sent me, a screenshot of what she sent her sister. The link shows Simon Slaughterhouse, Howl-O-Scream, Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, but the picture shows Demented Dimensions, and that's what's so confusing. So when I got home just now, went on the website myself. I looked at the website myself, and I went on there, I copied the link, and I went to double check. I went onto my messages, and I sent a message to Coda with the link, and sure enough, it came up, Demented Dimensions. That wasn't done on accident. That had to be put there on purpose. Was Howl-O-Scream intending to do Demented Dimensions this year, but decided to scrap it at the last minute? That's my question. So now here is where I'm confused. Demented Dimensions was all the way in Pantopia. So that venue space should still be open. On our last trip to Busch Gardens, where we went to Summer Nights, we looked, and the building that housed Demented Dimensions is still there. So then, as the night progressed, we went on over to Gwazi Field, where they hold all the festival space, where they had the beer and the food and wine festival. And in that little building space that we saw next to Gwazi Field that was all walled off, we speculated that Undead Arena Live was going to come back because there is always a house in that space. And we assumed because it was walled off that there is going to be a house in that space. The house is being built. Granted, you can tell just by looking over the walls that there wasn't anything really done with the space yet, which is kind of confusing because Howl-O-Scream is about a month away. We're about a month away from the start of Howl-O-Scream, and there was nothing done with that space. So that was a little confusing. So then, Busch Gardens came and announced this new beer fest that is going on. And the event runs August 25th through September 16th. Howl-O-Scream starts a week after that. And if they're going to be doing the same thing that they did during the Food and Wine Festival, then that space in Gwazi Field is not going to be a haunted house. It is going to be a festival center, and it's going to be full of beer and food carts and whatnot for this festival that's going on. So my complaint is that did Busch Gardens really get rid of a haunted house this year and substitute it for beer? Does that make sense? Am I going crazy? Or let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Does it make sense for Busch Gardens to get rid of a haunted house, go from 7 haunted houses to 6, and use a venue space that they had for Howl-O-Scream and use it for beer, for a beer festival? But that's not even the most confusing thing either. Like, I can understand getting rid of Undead Arena Live. That is fine. The house wasn't all that good. It was unique, but it wasn't all that good. I can understand them not using Undead Arena Live again this year. But Demented Dimensions is all the way in Pantopia, nowhere near that beer fest thing that's going on. So I'm so confused as to why Demented Dimensions isn't coming back. Supposedly, I have hope that Demented Dimensions is coming back only because the website links show otherwise. It shows the Demented Dimensions logo in the current format for this year's website. So that's what's confusing me. I don't know how I feel about this. It's blowing my mind. So now that we got all that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about what we have confirmed for this year. So now we are on the Howl-O-Scream website. This is the main page. We're going to scroll down, and we have the dates September 21st through October 28th. So like I said, the Beer Fest ends on September 16th. So about a week later, Howl-O-Scream starts. So now we're going to scroll up and we're going to do Haunts and Thrills. We're going to click on that and it is going to take us over here. This is a new image, by the way. I really like this image. I like the skull. I really like how it looks. But we're going to scroll down and we're going to see the haunted houses, scare zones, thrill rides, and entertainment. So up top, at the very top, we see the 2 brand new haunted houses. Insomnia, which I already made a video on, and Simon's Slaughterhouse. New, Simon's Slaughterhouse. By merely walking into a house, you have agreed to play Simon's Sick and Twisted Games. Now, the link that we were talking about was over here, where it says Learn More. You click that link and you copy it, and if you go into your phone messages and you send it, the image that comes up will show Demented Dimensions in this format over here that shows Insomnia. It's in the same format with the paper background and everything. So that's what's so interesting. So we're going to click over here and we're going to learn more about Simon's Slaughterhouse. Simon's Slaughterhouse takes screams to the extreme. Enter this horrifying realm at your own risk. So we don't have too much information on this house. But here's my thinking behind it is that if we go back over to the Haunts and Thrills or whatever, we're going to go through and we're going to go down to the scare zones. Meat Market has the 17 plus audience suggested sticker on that as well. And if we scroll back up, Simon's Slaughterhouse shows 17 plus audience suggested. Now, here's what's confusing me even further is that Meat Market last year was at the entrance to Gwazi Field, where you walk in to where all the festival stuff typically is. That's where Meat Market was. You walked through Meat Market last year and you got to Undead Arena Live. Now, if they decided to get rid of Undead Arena Live and put Slaughterhouse in there, that would make sense. That would make sense to be walking through Meat Market to get to the Slaughterhouse. But if they're going to be using that Gwazi Field space for a beer festival, then is Meat Market going to stay in that location, or is it going to move somewhere else? We already know that Insomnia is taking the place of Zombie Containment Unit over that Staples building. So if Demented Dimensions is going away, and we have the beer festival taking the place of Undead Arena Live in that venue, then I can only assume that the Slaughterhouse will be going into Pantopia. But where's the Meat Market Scare Zone going to be? I would hope that they could put the Meat Market Scare Zone somewhere near Simon Slaughterhouse. I don't think that they would put a Scare Zone directly in Pantopia. Typically, they might have hordes going through Pantopia, where it's just a random thing, not a designated Scare Zone. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. They've had Scare Zones in the past where they would have a dedicated scare zone leading into Pantopia if you're walking from where the elephants are and by where Rhino Rally used to be. They used to have dedicated scare zones over there, but I honestly don't know. I am just so confused. Anyways, moving on. We have Insomnia, Simon Slaughterhouse, the two brand new houses for this year, which I'm super excited that we have two brand new houses this year. Don't get me wrong. I am very, very excited that we have two haunted houses this year that are brand new at Howl-O-Scream. I'm just so confused as to the whole process behind everything and what's going on. Anyways, we'll scroll back down. Excuse me. And we have the Black Spot, which is returning yet again, Deathwater Bayou, Unearthed, and Motel Hell. So these are the 6 haunted houses that we have coming back this year. I am very, very disappointed that we're not getting 7 haunted houses this year. I'm very shocked and disappointed because if the event is supposedly getting bigger and better and they're making more money, they're pre-selling tickets to the extent that I'm hearing, then I don't see a reason why they would feel the need to downgrade the event and give us less haunted houses. Now, granted, it looks like they are giving us more scare zones this year than they have ever before. So for scare zones, we have the Meat Market, which has the 17 plus audience suggested, which I can understand why it would be 17 plus, because I'm sure the gore is going to be absolutely outrageous. We have new for this year, Maniac Midway. Join Sparky and his carny crew as they force you to be part of the scariest show on Earth. Clowns have overtaken the Midway and will scour Pantopia looking for the newest parts of their horrid attraction. This is going in Pantopia. I'm reading this for the first time. This is going in Pantopia. What the heck? Let's go back to Meat Market. Back and better than ever, the Meat Market is sure to scare your appetite away. Cannibalistic creatures will feast on the weak as they add to their monster menu of human hors d'oeuvres. So, this isn't even going near Pantopia. And if Slaughterhouse is going in the Demented Dimension space, then where is this? Oh my gosh, I am at a loss for words. So anyways, so the Midway, it makes sense that it's going in Pantopia because they have all the Midway games in Pantopia. There's a lot of Midway-esque things going on in Pantopia. So if they put this in Pantopia in the Midway section, that would be awesome. I don't know how it would work with the actual Midway games because the Midway games typically are open during Howl-O-Scream. So I don't know if they're going to put the scare zone inside where the Midway games are or if they're going to leave it just on the outside by where the Phoenix is. Not entirely sure. Moving on. New. Camp DOA. I don't know what DOA stands for, but anyways. Camp DOA. A night at this deadly campground ensures a sleepover like no other. Campers should sleep with one eye open as swamp mutants arise to make sure nobody gets a good night's sleep at this haunted marsh. So, if this is like a swamp and a haunted marsh, this scare zone would make sense being right outside of Deathwater Bayou. It would only make sense because the bayou is in like a swampland or a marsh. So it would make sense to have this scare zone near Deathwater Bayou. That's where I'm anticipating this scare zone to go. Moving on. Brand new for this year, Deadly Toys. Childhood memories will be crushed as the horror comes to life in Howl-O-Scream 2018. Lock up your toy box because life-size toys are heading out on a murderous rampage and no one is safe from their deadly wrath. So, from what I'm understanding is that the Playground Scare Zone will not be returning this year. In its place will be Deadly Toys. So, if you recall from last year, Playground Scare Zone was located near the Nairobi train station just before you hit the elephants and the old entrance to Rhino Rally. So, that is where I'm assuming the Deadly Toys Scare Zone is going to go, only because they've had that space in years past with the playground, and they had a shift change where it went from dead kids to what looked like broken China dolls. So I'm curious to see where that scare zone is going to be, but that's my thought process as to where the scare zone is going to be. New for this year, Hell on Wheels. Attempting to approach this apocalyptic arena? Think again, as a motorcycle gang protects the food and supplies that guarantee survival. With this gang in charge, the path to survival is looking grim. Now, if this is going to hold true and they're using the word arena, if they're planning on building an arena type area, the only possible place that I could think that they would put this scare zone to make sense that's large enough is located right outside of the Unearthed haunted house where Gwazi is. So the old Gwazi station and the old Gwazi building, there's a plaza area right outside the entrance of that has a lot of space. And if they were to build an arena-esque area over there, I can imagine that scare zone being located right there. New for this year and the last scare zone will be the new Dia de los Muertos. Spirits and souls have been asked to return for a one-of-a-kind celebration. This spooky festival includes a parade to honor those who have gone before us. So picture the movie Coco from Disney, but all kinds of jacked up. If you remember back several years ago at Halloween Horror Nights, they had a Dia de los Muertos-esque scare zone near the front of the park. And I can only imagine it being kind of similar to this. I can picture a lot of blacklight, a lot of skeletons, a lot of bones, and a lot of like Spanish influence going on in this scare zone. Not too sure exactly how it's going to be. We can only speculate at this point. I'm very curious to see how this scare zone looks, but by no means am I really excited for this scare zone. I'm not hyped for this scare zone. I honestly think that just based off of what I'm thinking, that this scare zone is going to be one of the lower rated scare zones of the year. Alright guys, I know this video has gone on for quite a bit longer than expected because I went on my little rant as to how confused I was. But anyways, let's scroll on down and end this video off by talking about some new tickets options that we have. So, Frontline Fear for 2018. It's going to be $35 a person, and this includes 20% off all gift shops, 20% off at all gift shops, single-use front-of-the-line access to Simon Slaughterhouse, Insomnia, Deathwater Bayou, Black Spot, Unearthed, and Motel Hell. So that is, what is this? Slaughterhouse, Insomnia, Bayou, Black Spot, Unearthed, and Motel Hell. That is a single-use front-of-the-line to all 6 haunted houses. So that is a damn good deal, if you ask me. $35 per person on top of your admission is absolutely fantastic deal. Seasonal pricing applies. Add front of the line fear cart for your actual price. So if this is seasonal, price is starting at $35. So let's go in here and do an example. Date. Let's try. Okay, so yeah, let's just look over here. So if you're going on a Friday in September, it's going to be $35. The first Saturday is going to be $40. $35, $45 for the second Saturday. Let's go on to October and see what the prices are. Okay, so now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the prices here. So again, we have the $35 for the first Friday of October, and then it jumps up from there. We have $60 on Saturdays, which it makes sense that Saturdays are going to be the most popular days and the most expensive days. Because that's when most people are going to be going to the event. But it looks like every single Sunday is going to be $35. So if you're planning on going to the event and you want to get this, the cheapest days for you to go is going to be on Sunday for $35. And then we have the other Fridays being $45, $50, and $50 respectively. So yeah, overall, still a really good deal. Compared to what they charge at Halloween Horror Nights down the road, this is a damn good deal if you're looking to make sure that you get into every single haunted house over during the night. So now, on top of that, we have the Frontline Fear Extreme. Enjoy frontline access to all 6 haunted houses and 6 major thrill rides of your choice. So of all the major thrill rides that you have, you can get into 6 of them front of the line. So that on top of the haunted houses. So single-use front-of-the-line access to all 6 haunted houses includes 20% off at all gift shops. Single-use in front access to Falcon's Ferry, Cheetah Hunt, Shikra, Montu, Kumba, and Cobra's Curse. And, of course, seasonal pricing applies. So price is starting at $45. I'm going to go ahead and go through and just show you guys some of the different prices. And it looks like starting at $45, $50, $55. Moving on to October, we have $45, $70, $75, $85. The most expensive day, it looks like Saturday, October 20th is going to be the most expensive day, and I think that was the most expensive day for the regular Frontline Fear Pass as well, and then going down to $75. So it looks like Sundays and Thursdays are going to be your cheapest days for this particular add-on. Alright folks, so since their Sinister sale is over, let's go ahead and take a look at what the ticket prices are now for a single night. So a single night ticket will cost you $39.99. And is this seasonal pricing? Prices subject to change. So let's go ahead and go through and look at a single night for one guest. It says it's $39, starting at $39, $39.39. Let's check October. And it looks like the prices go up the closer you get to Halloween, which actually makes sense. So it looks like after the first weekend of October, the prices are going to go up to $44.99 per guest for a single night of the event. So now this is an interesting ticket that we have over here, and I think this is new. Wild and Wicked Weekend Ticket. Enjoy a weekend full of visits to Busch Gardens Tampa Bay during the day and Howl-O-Scream at night. Weekends September 21st through October 28th, 2018. Valid for unlimited visits to Busch Gardens Tampa Bay and Howl-O-Scream 2018 for one consecutive weekend, Thursday through Sunday. So please note that Howl-O-Scream is not open for select Thursdays or Sundays. Check park hours and event dates prior to purchase. And Howl-O-Scream starts at 7:30 and each and every night. So, in order to get the most use out of this ticket for $104.99, I would recommend going on one of the days or one of the weeks that has 4 event nights. So, it looks like you're not going to get any use out of it during the first 2 weeks of September. So, if we move into October, it'll be starting on Thursday the 11th is when the event goes from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you'll be able to get into Busch Gardens and Howl-O-Scream every single one of those days. So that is a fantastic deal right there if you're looking to stay in the Tampa Bay area for a bit of time. Alright guys, well that's going to about wrap it up for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about what Howl-O-Scream is doing. Do you think that Demented Dimensions really isn't coming back this year? And do you think that that whole Demented Dimensions link on the website is a fluke? Is it a mistake? What's going on with that? I have no clue, but let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. Do you like that they're going from 7 houses to 6 this year? Do you think it's a smart decision? Or do you think that there's a deeper meaning behind it? So I just really want to get a discussion going in the comment section. I want to read what you guys have to say and let me know what you guys think about the changes going on at this year's Howl-O-Scream event, because I know that I'm super excited for this event, but I am very, very disappointed that we are losing a haunted house this year to what seems like beer. So I don't know, we'll just have to see as the event gets closer and wait for more announcements or just wait for more clarification from the executives over at Howl-O-Scream. So with that, I am off and I will see you guys in the next video.
Every broken bone, I swear I lived